welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen and this is episode 233. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are a new viewer, thanks so much for checking out the podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, spinning, hand-dyeing yarn, and sewing, and pretty much making all the things in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm from, and I live with my husband Dennis and our adorable kitten, cat Bella, who is not with us at the moment. But as always, I am super happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all those things with me. And yes, I have a show for you guys. It is but yet another gloomy day here in Bushwick, Brooklyn, but the show must go on, right? The show must go on. But before I get into what I've been making, I will just flash on the screen where you can follow me on the interwebs, because there are many avenues you can follow me at, but I am most active on Instagram and Ravelry, of course, and the show notes can be found over at www.yarngasmpodcast.com, and the best way to get in touch with me is email, of course. So before I get into what I've been making this week, just a quick announcement. If you are familiar with YarnGasmPodcast.com, it's the place where I post all the show notes for every episode and other tidbits that, you know, are of importance to the podcast. And for as long as I've been podcasting, which I don't know, it's coming up on like 7 years, I have to double check that, but yeah, I have been using blogger.com as my platform for publishing all the show notes, and I figured it was time just to up the ante a little bit and kind of give the blog a little facelift. So I've moved house. I've switched from Blogger over to Squarespace, so you might notice a change on the blog, just a new interface and everything. And oh my gosh, you guys, it is amazing. I love using Squarespace. Not endorsed, just a fan. I just love the platform. It makes everything just so much easier. So very excited about that. I hope you guys like the experience, and for whatever experience you can hope to get from show notes. But yeah, I don't know, maybe down the line I'll just do some tutorials and post them to there. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just having fun with the new layout and everything, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it's more intuitive and easier to navigate. Yeah, so anyway, enjoy. And yeah, so okay, let's get on with the show. I do have a couple of knit-alongs that are currently underway, and you can check all the information out for those knit-alongs. I'll mention them obviously throughout the podcast, but if you would like to partake in knit-alongs, definitely join the YarnGasm Ravelry group. Lots of lively chatter happening there, lots of conversation, and the place to be if you want to share your projects for said knit-alongs. But we do have the Box of Socks knit-along happening. We have the Helen Stewart Curious Handmade along that's currently underway, and the Mauve along, which is about to kick off on May 1st. It's going to be such a fun knit along. I'm co-hosting it with Shauna from the Adelaide Cottage podcast and Adelaide Cottage Yarn, so I will link to her Etsy shop in the show notes. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun, and the whole concept behind it is to knit pretty much any pattern you'd like. Knit, crochet, spin, anything out of mauve, however, potato, many different ways to pronounce that word. I will be honest, I am actually holding out for Shawl Society 2, which is, again, Helen Stewart's latest pattern collection, which is, again, kicking off on May 1st. The first pattern will be released on May 1st, so I'm kind of holding out for that pattern, and then once that pattern comes out, if I like it, I'm gonna consult my stash for all my mauve skeins of yarn and decide accordingly. But speaking of the Shawl Society 2, I have a giveaway winner to announce. So Helen Stewart has so wonderfully and kindly and generously, the wonderful person that she is, has donated 3 subscription codes to Shawl Society 2 to one of you lucky viewers. So we are down to 2 more giveaways for Shawl Society 2, and the winner, I used randomgenerator.org to choose a winner from the Ravelry group. So yes, if you'd like to, we have 1 more week or 1 more code left in which I will announce a winner for the subscription. But this week, the winner of the giveaway is number 65, Mary L25, and the prompt in the group is, how do you know spring is here? What signifies that spring has sprung to you? And Mary L25 has said, I know that spring has sprung when I hear the spring peepers. Such a lovely chorus. So yes, I could not agree more. That is pretty much clue one that spring has sprung, I think. So yes, congratulations, and I will send you a promo code to Shawl Society too. And yes, again, if you would like to enter to win, we have one more code left. Hop on over to that thread and let me know how you think spring has sprung, or what signifies that spring has sprung to you. Okay, enough rambling. I am going to dive into what's on my needles. Okay, so what's still on my needles? Because unfortunately I do not have a finished object to share with you this week, my friends. But I do have plenty to show you on my needles. The Apple Blossom socks. Again, a wonderful pattern by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and I have not put a dent in these. I may have finished a heel. I showed you guys that I was working on a heel last week. This is so sad. Again, my sock knitting mojo, unfortunately, has kind of taken a back seat. I don't know. I've just been so into knitting shawls lately. I must confess, I am a shawl knitter. It's like, you know that revelation you get when you're like, yes, I'm a sweater knitter. Yes, I'm a sock knitter. Yes, I'm a shawl knitter. I am a shawl knitter. And yeah, that's the conclusion that I've reached in this point in my life. I love knitting shawls, so that's what I've been working on this week. But I have made a wee bit of progress on my Apple Blossom socks, which is a lovely pattern. No mistake there. It is a lovely pattern, and the yarn, it's my itty bit of narwhal from Nina of the This All Knit podcast. I love this little guy. He's so fun. But yeah, the yarn is Nora George Yarns in her Thistle colorway, which was an exclusive colorway that she dyed for the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And again, I finished a heel. I did it. Unlike the pattern calls for, I believe Helen incorporated a basic heel flap and heel turn. I just decided to go with my favorite go-to at the moment, which is a Fish Lips Kiss heel. They're quick, easy to memorize, and I love them. They fit really well for me. I know some people don't have the same opinion, but for my heel, they fit perfectly. So that's the heel that I've been going with these days. Yeah, so I've when I work on these, I've really been enjoying them. Again, the pattern is super intuitive and easy to memorize. I just haven't had a mojo to work on. I haven't had a mojo. My mojo. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. I just haven't had time or the wherewithal to work on these this week. But highly recommend the pattern. It's lovely, and hopefully this weekend I will have time to sit down and actually put another dent, a big dent in these. I don't expect myself to finish them, but I do want to make progress on my Apple Blossom socks. So there's where I am with that. But yes, while we're on the topic of Helen Stewart, this seems to be becoming the Helen Stewart, all about Helen Stewart show. But anyway, Helen's probably like, oh my god, no. Anyway, yeah, I am still plugging away at the Snow Melt shawl, which was a mystery knit along by now if you've been keeping up with the podcast. Yes, it has since been consolidated. It is no longer a mystery knit, and it's available for everyone to download, so go check it out. I've thoroughly been enjoying knitting this, but again, I really haven't had the time to put any more of a dent in it. I'm still on clue 4. I don't know if I may have made a little bit of progress on this. I finished clue 3 last time I spoke with you, but I am currently on clue 4, which is all just garter and purling and yarn overs. And yeah, I've officially entered the black hole of shawl knitting with this, because now there are officially 500 plus stitches on my needles, and I don't know, I'm still keeping it a mystery knit along to myself in a way. I haven't downloaded the entire pattern. I'm just downloading each clue as I get to them. So I'm not sure if the stitch count increases anymore, but right now it's quite a lot of stitches. So I will give you one of the reasons why I haven't worked on this as of late, because my needles, as you can see here, my stitches are quite scrunched up, and it's making knitting on this a teeny bit cumbersome. And I had placed an order last time I spoke with you on Amazon. I did Amazon Prime, but my post office, the slackers that they are, failed to deliver said knitting needles. And see, I have beef with my post office because very, very lazy. Whoever's working in that office really is on a perpetual break, and they really just don't care about their job. I've come to that conclusion because, not to go off on a rant, but I've placed several complaints on the USPS website. And yeah, their customer service, the overall USPS customer service is on their game, but my local post office, I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, they did make a delivery attempt with the needles, which I think is a lie because I was home that whole day. We did not get any mail that day, and they just said they left a notice. Mail was, you know, they made an attempt to deliver. I think it's total BS. But anyway, I put in a complaint. I have no idea where my knitting needles are, but when they get here, I'm switching needles and I will be free to just kind of glide along, hopefully. But yeah, I did order some Haya Sharps and Haya Sharps on, I think, a 40-inch cable. Right now, I believe I'm using a 24-inch, which yeah, is quite scrunchy, if that's a word and that makes any sense. But anyway, if you're curious, I am using my hand-dyed yarn on my Nouveau base, which is a superwash merino single, and the main colorway is Poe, which is a shaded gray. The second colorway is Moonburn, which is like this purple right here. Purple right here, which is a club colorway. And then this peachy color was a free swim colorway called Aphrodisiac. And yeah, so that's where I am with this. And I hope to have it finished soon. I hope to, because I love this pattern and I want it to be done. As I say every week, it must end because I want to wear it. I want to wear it and enjoy it. So that's where I am with that. Long story short, right? Or long story long, I have no idea where that went. But anyway, the other project that I have been working on is my eyeball shawl by Stephen West. And as I had mentioned, I was holding off on casting on or switching over to the third colorway for the sclera, which is the white part of the eye. I finished the pupil, I finished the iris. However, now I'm on to the sclera, and I was going to wait because I'm waiting for a lot of things, you guys, to come in the mail because my post office is not on their game. But yeah, I'm still waiting for the second skein of La Bien MA to come in the mail. I placed the order maybe a month ago. I don't know, maybe it's stuck in customs, I don't know, but it's not here yet. And I lost patience. I was itching to cast on, and I cast on the sclera. Call me crazy, but here's where I am. And you guys, I am loving this. I love how it's knitting up. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks, if you're not, I would say this is such a simple knit. It looks complicated because you're picking up stitches and, you know, and you're doing all these increases here, but I will say this is a super relaxing, intuitive knit. There's no, if you're, you know, a seasoned beginner knitter, there's no reason why you couldn't grasp how to do this part of the shawl, but I really, really, really love the way this is turning out. It's so fun. And I want to knit another one. I want to knit another one using different colorways, just like some kind of fun, crazy colorway, but you guys, I love this. I love this so much. Yeah, and yeah, this is the eyeball shawl by Stephen West. Never in a million years did I imagine myself casting on something like this, but I love it. Anyway, Stephen West eyeball shawl. The iris is knit out of Skeiny Dipping yarns in her merino singles base in her Space Pants colorway. The iris, same yarn, but in her olives colorway, which is this really awesome green. Totally matches my eyes. And then the sclera is, again, La Bien MA in her Gateway Purple colorway. And again, it's like a merino single base. So the bases are practically the same. I mean, if not totally the same, I don't know. But yeah, and whenever the second skein gets here, it'll get here. If it doesn't match, it doesn't match. I am not a perfectionist. I'm not type A, I am type B, so it won't bother me. Maybe it will a little bit, but I'm not gonna beat myself up over it. So anyway, yeah, that is where I am with my eyeball shawl. And let me see, what else did I wanna say about this? Yes, I guess picking up the stitches, if you can see here, I don't believe Stephen West gives any instruction on how to pick up the stitches or in which way to pick up the stitches along the side, but I have basically been, when I knit, because if you can see here, like as you're knitting them, as you're knitting across, you knit this stitch together with the white yarn. Anyway, it's kind of hard to explain, and it's a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to give away too much. But on the right side, I've been knitting 2 stitches together, and then or just knitting the stitch normally, and then on the wrong side, when you turn your work, I've been knitting the first stitch of every row and the last stitch of every row through the back loop, just to get kind of like a nice clean just pick up line, because orientation of stitch definitely matters. And I don't know if you can see here, it is a little wonk. My stitch pickups are a little wonky. You can see, like right there, I pick them up one way, and then here I pick them up another way. Again, not a perfectionist, not going to beat myself over it, so here I get my act together, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick up stitches this way. So anyway, just I will try and post about that in my on my project page, just to kind of clarify everything. But just if you are knitting this shawl, just bear in mind that you probably want to, you know, knit stitches the regular way on the right side, and then on the flip side, on the wrong side of your work, when you turn it, you want to knit the first and last stitches through the back loop, just to kind of get that clean, neat pickup stitch, if you will, if that makes any sense. But yeah, otherwise, really loving this pattern. Cannot wait for the second skein to get here. Just in case the dye lot is a little off, in case you're just tuning in, the reason why I wanted to wait for that second skein to get here is just to make sure that the dye lots weren't totally off. And if they were totally off, I would alternate skeins. So I would cake up both skeins, and then alternate every couple of rows between skeins, just to kind of even out the dye lot thing, if that makes any sense. So anyway, that's where I am with this. But yeah, I think that is it all for my works in progress. I will say that a lot of my attention ever since Saturday, I was bitten by the design bug. If you recall, I have been toying with the idea of coming up with a new shawl design pattern. I came out with one. Right now I have 2 patterns out that I designed. I've designed a few patterns in the past, but 2 main ones that I actively promote and put on my website. I have my sock pattern, which is free, and then I have my Ville de Smear shawl, which, you know, is paid for pattern. But it's been a year, a little over a year, that I put out that pattern, and I think it's time for me to put out another one. I want to put more patterns out more frequently, because they are fun to make. It's just a matter of making time to sit down, find the inspiration, and coming up with the design, and then writing the patterns. Again, my primary business is a yarn dyer, so, you know, finding little bits of time in between that is a little challenging, I will say. But over the weekend, I was bitten by the design bug once again, and I think I'm going to come through on this one, you guys. I'm very excited about it. I've been knitting on it voraciously. It's just kind of knitting itself, which is amazing. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I posted a sneak peek of what it might look like on my Instagram feed, so you have that. But I am knitting it out of Hot Mess and Violet Star Galactica. And this is my hand-dyed yarn on my Nouveau base, which is a single ply merino, which I love. I love this so much, you guys. It's, yeah, my new favorite base. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm having a lot of fun knitting on that design. It's going to be top secret until it's done. And before anybody reaches out to me about being a test knitter, please do not do that just yet, because yeah, I'm still working on the project, and I do have a handful of test knitters that I go to first. But I will, if I do need test knitters, I will keep you posted and let you know, or put a call out. But in the meantime, please, no requests to test knit at this moment. So yeah, but anyway, I will keep you posted on that. And in the meantime, yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. So without further ado, I'm gonna move along to mail. So I've received, granted, I do gripe about my post office quite often with certain packages, but they have thankfully come through on delivering important stuff, such as, you know, things I receive in the mail from podcast viewers and friends, and yeah, so thankfully that all this stuff is coming through. But anyway, I received some really lovely packages this week, and you guys, thank you. But yeah, the first one was from Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick podcast, or Jilly the Knitting Broomstick. She has a really awesome podcast. I highly recommend you check her out. We've been chatting for a while, like back and forth online, and she's just a wonderful, kind, awesome person. I cannot say enough of how amazing Jilly is as an individual. Anyway, check out her podcast. She's so much fun, and she just puts a smile on my face every time I watch her podcast. But she totally surprised me, caught me off guard. I, was not expecting this at all, but she sent me the most wonderful care package. Well, first of all, she sent me a coffee mug, which was included, and you guys, it's a mermaid. It's a mermaid. I love this so much. Oh my gosh. I squeaked when I opened the package. I was like, Jilly, you have my number. And I love the saying on the inside. On the inside of the mug, it says, live the life you imagine. And yes, these are totally words I live by. So this is my new favorite mug. I've just been like drinking out of it all week ever since it came into my life. So just some coffee. That's now cold from this morning, but anyway, you didn't need to know that. But she also sent me this project bag. I really, really love this. I mean, look, little sewing machines, and they're so I love how they're kind of gothy. They're not like pink or anything. They're just like these subdued, subtle toned vintage sewing machines. I freaking love this. So yeah, but that's not all. That is not all. She sent me tea. She sent me lots of tea, lots of her favorite flavors. But you guys, I'm just gonna call this episode You Guys, because I feel like I've been saying that a million times this episode. But anyway, she sent me a skein of No Makers, and this is my very first skein of No Makers. I've been wanting to place an order on No Makers for a long time because Nina of This Old Knit, she's obsessed with them, and I've been, again, like I just have not gotten around to placing an order with No Makers, and this is my very first skein. I am super stoked and psyched to have a skein of No Makers finally. And this is, let me see, it is her House Gnome base, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon fingering sock, and the colorway is Gnomelandia. I love it. Look at that logo. So cool. Thank you so much, Jilly. You made my month. You really did. This was just so cool to get in the mail. Totally unexpected, and mwah, I love you. So anyway, so that was one thing, and then wait, there's more. I did a swap with Laura Jinx, who is the wonderful and amazing talented hand dyer behind Jinx Yarns, and my wonderful friend, and yeah, she has the Dyer's Notebook podcast, and she just put out a new episode. No pressure, Laura, but I miss your podcast and your face like crazy. So she's based in Texas, so we don't really get to see each other, but I'm happy that she makes the trip out to New York sometimes for Rhinebeck or Vogue Knitting Live. But yeah, I really miss your podcasts. Again, no pressure. I know she's, very, very busy, and yeah. But anyway, we both did a collaboration for Little Skein and the Big Wool, which she had a booth over at Stitches West, and both Alara and I and a bunch of other wonderful hand dyers contributed to her Enchanted Forest collection for Stitches West. And Lara, the theme was Pick a Fairy Tale, and I did The Last Unicorn, if you are familiar, and Lara chose, very appropriately, she chose Little Mermaid, and here's the colorway she dyed. We like to do swaps, so if we dye a special colorway, we just have this thing where we just swap a colorway, because we're awesome friends. And yeah, so I sent her a skein of The Last Unicorn, and she sent me Part of Your World, which is a lyric from a song from Disney's Little Mermaid. And oh my gosh, you guys, I love it. And this is on her strong sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And I can totally see Ariel in here all the way. So I love this. So thank you so much, Laura. Yay! So much yarn to knit with. Gosh. But wait, that is not all. Someone else surprised me this week. You crazy girl, you. Stacy from Stress Knits, the Stress Knits podcast, and Stress Knits Yarns. She is a new hand dyer, so oh my gosh, congrats Stacy. Everything you do is just awesome. But again, another wonderful person that is just so kind, and there are no words. But anyway, case in point, she sent me totally unexpected a care package in the mail of her hand dyed yarn that she said was inspired by by me, the podcast, and you know, my whole aesthetic and everything. But she sent me not one but 2 skeins of yarn. How beautiful is that? And you guys are gonna die when I tell you the colorway name. Are you ready for this? A Voolenvine. Yeah, she went there. Stacy, yeah, you're freaking awesome. But yeah, if you are not familiar, my Ravelry name and my business name is Voolenvine, which I will say is when I first joined Ravelry, coming up with a username does not come easy to me. Like those types of things do not come easy to me. So I'm like, well, what do I like? I like wool and I like wine. So let's put a German spin on it, because I do have my heritage is from Germany, so all the W's are pronounced with a V in German, so I did Voolenvine. So I just did a play on words there. So yeah, she cleverly came up with a really awesome colorway name for this one, and yeah, I love it so much. So she sent me 1 and 2, one on her sparkle sock and one on her favorite sock, which is a 80% 20% superwash merino and nylon. So one is for me and one is for you. So I will open up a thread in the YarnGasm Ravelry group, so whoever would like to win a skein of this, hop on over there and answer the prompt, which I will come up with after I open the thread. But Stacy, thank you so much for this. You do too much. Oh yeah, and she sent a sample skein from her recent, or a mini skein from her recent yarn club that she did, which is really beautiful. This will be going into my crochet granny stripe blanket ASAP, I believe, which I have been working on, but not enough to show you and write home about. But oh yeah, and she also sent me a bath bomb, which apparently turns a bath black. Oh yeah, I love this. Okay, almost forgot to share this with you guys, but I did receive another wonderful thing in the mail, and as I mentioned in a previous episode, Helen Stewart has not only wonderfully donated 3 codes for her Shawl Society 3 collection, I'm sorry, 3 codes for her Shawl Society 2 collection, but she's also generously sent me a giveaway for her Apple Blossom sock kit. And she sent not one, but one for me and one for you lovely viewers. And this will be a giveaway at the end of the Curious Handmade Along. And here it is. It's a collaboration that she did, and it comes in this lovely project bag. But yes, it's for her Apple Blossom socks pattern that I'm currently knitting, and she did it in collaboration with Hedgerow Yarns, which I will say is a new to me dyer. I've heard Helen talk about it on her podcast, but it's absolutely beautiful. So delicate and so green, and yeah, it's hand dyed and hand painted yarn, hedgerowyarns.co.uk, and it's called Apple Blossom, very appropriate. And it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 365 meters and 100 grams. So you get a beautiful skein of yarn, and then some really cute washi tape, which I feel like one can never have too much washi tape. It's so fun, but it has like a really cute London scene on it, double-decker bus, some cars, and some what do you call it? Yeah, palace guards. Oh, so cool, I love it. And then yeah, you also get a code for oh, and it also comes with tea, and then a postcard, and it comes with a download code for the Apple Blossom socks. So Helen, thank you again. You're much too kind and much too generous. Thank you so much. Mwah, I love this, and super excited to share this with you lovely viewers. So yay! So again, a really amazing and wonderful mail week. Thank you so much to you guys, to Stacy, to Lara, to Jilly for sending me such wonderful gifts in the mail. I love you guys. So yay! Okay, I am gonna move along to the next segment, which is Ask Away. Okay, so we have 2 questions from the Ask Away thread, which is a thread in the YarnGasm Ravelry group where you can pretty much ask me anything that you'd like regarding the podcast, knitting, spinning, dyeing, you know, with my life within reason, obviously. And yeah, I will do my best to answer them on the podcast or right there in the thread. So yeah, I picked out 2 questions this week, and the first one is from Pixie G88. And she says, I've been wondering about the project bags and knitting notions that are sent to you for your own use or as giveaway prizes. You also talk about their products and where one can buy it. All right. With that said, if someone wants to send you their merch for you to discuss on the podcast, can they just send it, or should there be a pre-established conversation regarding first? I hope that makes sense. So, okay, yes, as you just witnessed, I shared some items that I received in the mail, from, be it, you know, either just a generous gift or a giveaway prize. Yes, if you do have something that you would like me to give away on the podcast, or something that you would like to send me, first of all, full disclaimer, I never ask for handouts on the podcast. I never expect gifts. You know, they are just, people do reach out to me, you know, either via email. I do recommend, if you would like to get in touch with me about this type of thing, please just email me at contact@voolenvineyarns.com. It's the best way to get a response. But yes, people do reach out to me asking if they can send me these things, and you know, obviously, you know, I will say that it does get quite overwhelming. I do receive a lot of these requests, and I'm starting to maybe putting a cap on it at certain points. So, but please, if you, but yeah, by all means, you know, feel free to reach out to me if you would like to send me something. I am beyond thankful to anybody who does, you know. Again, I never expect it at all, but it means so much that you guys think about me, and you know, and I love sharing you know, things that you make, and I love supporting other makers. So by all means, reach out to me, email me, you know, and let me know. But please do not be offended, or if I turn you down, because I do, as I mentioned, I do get a lot of requests sometimes, and it's a little difficult for me to juggle all of that and keep track of all these giveaways. So I do keep an Excel sheet where, you know, I do try and keep track of all the giveaways and stuff, but I just want to put it out there, like, you know, please do not be offended if I say no or not at this time. But yes, the best way to do that is just to email me at contact@voolenvineyarns.com, and I will do my best to get back to you about that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. So yes, moving along, we have another question from This Panda Knits, and I have to get somebody to answer this question. Okay, so I now have a co-host. We'll see how long she hangs out here for. She's kind of sleepy, but This Panda Knits says, I have been wondering what kind of kitty Bella is. When I was growing up, we had a black cat that our puppy found on Halloween that my mom named Spooky, and we never found her origins her whole life because she was found as a very young kitten in our yard. And I love that Bella has the same eye color as you. So thank you so much, Star Panda. And yeah, I love black cats. She's the best. She's my buddy. She keeps me company during the day. And but yeah, Bella, what kind of kitten are you? What kind of cat are you? She's not gonna answer, but anyway. Bella is a Turkish Angora, and yeah, no, yet enough. But yeah, Bella is a Turkish Angora cat. We adopted her. Honestly, on her adoption papers, we adopted her from the Empty Cages Collective, which is a wonderful pet adoption agency here in Brooklyn. And yeah, we received her papers. They give the cats their shots. They give them a chip in the ear, so if they get lost, you can, you know, scan them and locate them. But anyway, on her adoption papers, all it said was 1-year-old short-haired domestic, and clearly she is. I don't think she is considered like a short hair. She definitely has very floofy, you know, long hair. I don't know, but anyway, I did a little research online and discovered that yeah, she is in fact a Turkish Angora. There are 2 types of breeds that are very similar, Turkish Angora and Turkish Van, but yes, she is a Turkish Angora. They come in many different shades, primarily white, but I think she might not be a pure breed. She might be a little bit of a mix, but I believe primarily she is a Turkish Angora. And there is actually a YouTube video, I think it was on Animal Planet or something. They did a whole series of different types of cats and different breeds. So I will try and link to that video on YouTube because it gives you a whole breakdown of what Turkish Angoras are like and their personality, because I found it fascinating. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Bella says hello, obviously, and yeah, so I'm gonna move along to shop update. Unfortunately, I have no sewing to share with you this week. There, again, not enough hours in the day these past few weeks, so yeah, but I definitely do want to crank out another skater dress out of jersey. So hopefully this weekend I can get that done. But yes, moving along, let's go to shop update. Okay, so this week I will be having a shop update on Saturday, April 29th, 10 a.m. Eastern time, as opposed to my usual Friday updates, just to accommodate those customers who aren't usually able to make my Friday updates. Once a month I do, at the end of the month or the very beginning of the month, I try to have, switch things up a little bit and have the shop update on a Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So hope you can make it. Here is a little preview of what's going to be in the shop. Granted, as I say every week, this is what I've dyed so far. I will be dyeing more today and tomorrow. So just to give you a little sneak peek at what I have so far. So yeah, this week I feel like I've been bringing back colorways that I haven't dyed in a while, just to kind of, you know, bring them back into circulation, because lately I've been having a lot of fun coming up with new colorways, which I really, really enjoy doing. It keeps things fresh, keeps things exciting. But anyway, I've brought back a couple of oldies but goodies, if you will. So I will be having some more fairy hair in the shop. Here it is on my Nouveau base, and here it is on my Blitzed base. So this is my single ply superwash merino, and then Blitzed is my superwash nylon and gold stellina. So that will be in the shop. And I will also have these dyed on my Volca base, which is a superwash merino nylon cashmere, and also my Footsie base, which is a superwash Blueface Luster nylon blend. So there's that. And then I also brought back, let me see, Enjoy the Silence. This is Enjoy the Silence, yes, okay. So this will be in the shop. Here it is on Blitz and Nouveau. And there will be, by popular demand, there will be some Grim in the shop. So this is my shaded, very versatile, shaded black colorway, which is, I will admit, I really want a shawl out of this one. I think I'm gonna set aside 2 skeins for myself on Blitz so I can knit myself a shawl. And here it is on Nouveau. And then I will have some more tea leaves. There we go. Yes, so tea leaves will be in the shop. And then this was a free swim colorway that I dyed up, and I don't know, I'm still deciding whether or not I want to keep it, but it seems like people liked it on Instagram when I posted it, so we'll see. But this is Last Splash, which is a, you know, granted, I will say I don't gravitate towards blues very often, which is probably why I don't dye many of them, but I realize that my shop really doesn't have too much blue in it usually, so I don't know. I mean, I do have Dead Calm, which is like a really dark kind of, which is my favorite blue that I dye. I have Myth, which I haven't dyed in a while, a long time. And then I have Special Snowflake, which is a holiday colorway. And then, you know, this one is just a speckled, you know, it's a very speckled shaded blue colorway. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll see if I decide to keep it. I do have the formula, but here it is on Footsie, my BFL nylon, and then here it is on Nouveau. So we'll see where that goes. Let me know what you think, if this should be a regular. I might just keep it. We'll see. But yes. Okay, so that is all I have to show you for what will be in the shop. Again, I have to put out a newsletter today, so probably by the time you're watching this, the newsletter will have already gone out. But if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, please do so if you would like to keep in the loop about what will be in the shop, especially about news and updates. As I mentioned, I will be doing a collaboration with Kelsey from Primrose Yarn Company in June, so those skeins will be listed on June 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that's a Monday, so yeah, more details on that to come, but very excited for that. And I'm trying to think what else. yeah, that is it. But yes, definitely subscribe to the newsletter. Hop on over to your VoolenvineYarns.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom and just enter your email and you'll be automatically subscribed to the list. So yes, that is it for shop update. Again, Saturday, April 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Hope you can make it and I'll see you then. As for Blather, which is the segment where I chat about what's been going on in my life, should you care to stick around and hear about it, yes, usually I start off with nothing much has been happening. I've just been working like a crazy woman, like I do. And yeah, the weekends, they've just been pretty lazy, knitting, and you know, Dennis has been studying. He's still studying. Yeah, I feel like he's gonna be in study mode for a long time because, as I mentioned last week, he took one of many tests that he has to take for architecture. So yeah, that is just going to be an ongoing theme throughout, I guess. But yeah, last weekend we got together with our neighbors. We really lucked out when we moved to this neighborhood because I have to honestly say we could not have asked for better neighbors, because not only are they awesome to hang out with, but our neighbor's wife, she is amazing. She is, I want to say, like the next Martha Stewart with like a goth twist, if you will, because she does, you know, I hope she doesn't mind me talking about her. I don't think she watches the podcast, but anyway, she creates, if you follow her Instagram feed, which I will post in the show notes, because she just creates these amazing like tiny finger foods and hors d'oeuvres. She specializes, I want to say, in deviled eggs. She just makes deviled eggs look so, her whole Instagram feed is just food porn. Anyway, anytime they invite us over, it is just a treat because she spoils us rotten with her whole like finger foods and everything. It's just wonderful. So anyway, we went over there on Saturday. They had a fire pit and we got to hang out with their friends, and their friends got a dog, and it was just so wonderful. So anyway, that was Saturday, and the rest of the weekend, yeah, we just kind of hung out. I started my shawl design, which was really great. And then as far as reading is concerned, I actually finished listening to a book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And you're probably familiar with Elizabeth Gilbert if you've heard of her book Eat, Pray, Love, which I've never read, but I was listening to or watching Katie from Inside Number 23. She had recommended Big Magic. And generally, I will say I'm not a self-help book person, but as I chatted about in the last episode, I read a book called, or listened to a book called, The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving an F, which is an awesome book and I highly recommend. But I was browsing through Audible, and it was like one of those, if you like this book, you'll like this book. And I recognized it from KT's podcast. I'm like, oh, that seems really, you know, like a book, because it deals with being more creative, how to, like, if you read the blurb on the back, I will say that it didn't really speak to me, because it basically says that it shows, she basically helps you get over your fear of being creative, or getting over that fear of, like, you know, what if nobody likes it, or I'm not good enough, or blah, blah, blah. I can happily report that I don't have that problem. I don't, if that's considered a problem, or I don't have that obstacle, because I create things that I like. I create things that make me happy. I really honestly don't care what people think. Yeah, so I definitely think I have a healthy approach to my own creativity. So the book, I will say, did not initially appeal to me, but I'm always open to new perspectives on how to be more creative, or, you know, how to be creative in general. So you know, I gave it a go. I downloaded it and I started listening to it, and I will say that the first couple of chapters kind of confirmed that notion that I had about the book. So you know, I was like, oh, maybe this really isn't the book for me, you know, but because I was working and listening to it at the same time, I just kind of went with it. I was like, whatever, I'll keep it going in the background, see where it goes. And I will say that I was delightfully surprised. I really enjoy the book. I feel like that there was something in there for everybody. I definitely had a couple of takeaways and a couple of really good gems in there. So yeah, I definitely really liked her perspectives on some things. Yeah, and you know, again, like what works for me might not work for you. So, you know, but it's definitely good to hear different opinions and just, you know, open your mind to new perspectives. So I give it a thumbs up, 4 out of 5 stars. I actually reviewed it on Goodreads. I don't normally review things, but I took a break yesterday and decided to write a review about it. So, definitely check it out. Again, I think there's something in there for everybody. And again, I will say, like, those first few chapters of the book, while they did not resonate with me so much, I feel like there are people that could benefit from those first few chapters, because there are people out there who are just afraid to be creative or explore their creativity and share it with the world, because yeah, there's no reason why you should feel that way. And again, if you do feel that way, then this is definitely the book for you. So definitely check it out. Yeah, so anyway, I feel like I've rambled on way too long. I have some work to do. So thank you so much again for hanging out with me, and you know, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Happy knitting. Bye. Just one. Kitty, come here. Goose.